Testing. Whew. So, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started my business, I was 13 years old, right? And I never tell my story, and I love telling my story because I feel like there's other people who know they have it inside of them to like take a little risk and do something and take that passion and see where it goes. And that's kind of what happens when you're 13 years old starting a business. You're like, I just really love doing this, and you keep doing it, and eventually you're like, oh shoot, money's coming from this, and then you start navigating, and you hear the thing. It's like people don't know what they're doing at the beginning, and you think people know. Even like billionaires, multimillionaires, you think they know exactly what they're doing, but nobody's ever lived their paths before. So for that reason, they're also learning along the way, and that was me, especially in my business. I was like, nobody's ever done this before. There wasn't really any videos at the time telling me how to be an entrepreneur and all these buzzwords that we hear nowadays, because like it didn't exist. Entrepreneurship existed, but these gurus online, these courses, they're all so new. YouTubers making like, thousands in a day. It was unheard of. And I wasn't exposed to that until I started making money myself. So I never really had to be, brainwashed or manipulated by these get rich quick schemes. I just kept doing what I loved, and I started to navigate the entrepreneurial world myself. Learning, failing, learning how to sell. Like the need for these things came, so I had to find a way to learn, to fill those voids. Like if I needed to sell a higher ticket package because my time was getting, used up, I needed more leverage, I had to find out how to sell. I had to try selling. I had to put myself out there. I had to get no's. I had to get, door slammed in my face. And it's all a part of the game. And this is why I love it so much. And now people are like, this is exactly what you have to do, and you can make so much money. And I'm just like, no, it's not. It's not like that, And this whole world of entrepreneurship is a game, and it's so much fun. The downs, the ups. You got to appreciate both, because without either of them, there's no contrast. And if you do appreciate the downs just as much as the ups, you'll start to love this game. And it's not meant for everybody. Like now, I'm about to turn 23 years old, so I'm 22 at the moment, and I'm like, there's not many things I would do different, but there's a lot more I try to pay attention to in the failures and also the great things, because I wish I even took those experiences and the moments in a lot more to learn more from them. Like, I just remember being in high school, like I was like 16 years old, 17. When I was 17, I was making six figures a year, and nobody knew about it. Still to this day, I never talk about it. This is like my first time really even speaking to the camera about stuff like this personally, and I'm like, I just stayed quiet because it really didn't matter to me. I had friends showing off their cars. Teachers would even talk about their salaries, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm making more, but like I'm learning from them. Like I'm sitting in your classroom, I'm getting shit thrown in my face about the car I was driving, the hand-me-down car I was driving, which I loved and I still love to this day. And I was like, I still don't care for some reason. I could go buy a car cash. I could do what a lot of people do and try to flaunt the money. And good thing I had great, people in my life to just like guide me the right way. You still learn from mistakes, but it's like, instead of buying that Rolex right away, I spent like $17,000 on a course, for example. Or instead of just going to go buy a brand new car, I was like, why not put myself through law school and pay it off without debt? So I get the experience without having to, get that school debt that most people accumulate over the years of schooling. And I could do something like that because I afforded myself the ability to do something like that just by working hard, and I wanted to learn more. These are like multi-six-figure investments into myself first, where I could have just bought cars and dumb stuff, right? Like liabilities. One of the first books I read was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was like, assets. I was so obsessed with assets. I was like, I want assets. I want houses. I want, things that bring me money, let money work for me, leverage, all these words. I was like, wow, this is like such a weird way of thinking. And then fast forward a few years, I'm finishing up law school. I'm sitting there, I'm in my nice studio apartment, I have like all my gear set up in there, I had my cameras, and I was just vibing, I was traveling the world. And then it's just weird having so much freedom when you're at that age. I think it's good and bad, and if you don't treat it properly, I know a lot of people who've gone downhill, and luckily for me, and unluckily, because it's like a double-ended sword, you get what you want, but people don't understand when you get what you want so early, it can come with downsides. Like money is one part of it, but doing everything you want to do too It's like sometimes you don't always want to live too fast. Um, there's a reason I told you that I created this channel. It's like Justin from scratch. Like I wanted to challenge myself again. Like certain things happened in the last year, like losing a loved one and going through these ideas about like what do I do now. You can make money. You have the skills, and it's not being egotistical. It's like there's certain things you have to do, certain actions that make it unreasonable for you not to be able to make that money, and you know exactly what you need to do, and you know exactly what skills you need to get better at. You start to put this together, how to network and all these different things, and you're like, okay, that's cool. We know how to make money. You know how to get cash. Cool. You know how to even invest it. Like today, for example, I put like I think $5,500 into like Ethereum. Just because like there's certain things that become a habit. Investing is one of them. Cash flow is one of them. But then also you gotta realize where you're gonna invest at the time. It's like, am I investing in myself? Am I investing in gear? Like the camera you're watching this on, right? Like that's a 5-figure camera. Um, you gotta kind of consider like, yeah, a lot of these things, I'm not wearing them on my wrist, and a lot of people will never see these investments. But the things they allow me to do, they allow me to create content, allow me to do work for my clients, allow me to put educational content out there, allow me to better myself. And it's like, these are long-term investments. These are assets, but not in the typical way. They allow you to get more money down the road. Some of them allow you to get money right now, and some of them are saving money for a rainy day, you put it aside. Or some of the things are like investing into your body, investing into your mind, reading, learning, taking care of your family. These are investments into your lifestyle. Anyways, how this connects back to just getting everything you want, or most things that you want, is you start to realize a lot of it just doesn't matter. You don't care what people think. For me personally, I just don't feel the need to care what people think unless it's like, meaningful. It's family, somebody's trying to better you, somebody's trying to tell you how to do better, then you should listen. But if it's somebody saying, oh, your car's not that nice, or, your watch is not that nice, it's like, deep down, you know exactly what you're able to do. So it doesn't bother you anymore, but at the same time, you're like, it doesn't bother you because you also know where you want to spend that money. For me personally, I've always had an obsession with cameras. I've always had an obsession with certain cars, and also like my fitness. So, nicer gyms, new equipment, even travel. So it's like, knowing yourself and learning yourself is the hardest part, and getting money at a young age allows you to kind of do a lot of things and learn a lot about yourself and have a lot of freedom and work your ass off. Like, you learn how to work your ass off, especially when you're running an entire business, when you're doing business deals, when you're 17 in a business meeting, trying to close a $20,000 deal, 17, 18, trying to spend $20,000. And it's like, damn, you know what the risks are. You're exposed to this mindset of what's possible. You're exposed to what can happen if things go wrong. You're exposed to what you need to know in order to make things happen. You're also exposed to what happens when you get the things you ask for, the things you work hard for, and how sometimes it can feel empty. So then it's like, damn, maybe I should have spent, more money on, spending on experiences with my family instead of trying to spend on, a piece of metal on your wrist or things like that. And it's like, when you get this perspective at a young age, for me right now, this is how I'm thinking. This might change in a few years, but right now it's like, I love building. And the reason why I put Justin from scratch is because I love starting from scratch sometimes. Like most people, when they're making that much at a young age, either they'll want to rub it in people's faces, they want to do certain things, they want to spend on things that are for the moment, and that's cool and that's up to you. But me personally, it's like, I wanted to cut hair. And because I didn't have to fully, be in my business, I decided to work at a barbershop. Did I tell anybody there what I was up to? No, right? I just wanted to cut hair and use my skills from the past and get better at it. Things like these, I love the saying, you shouldn't be too proud to pick up the penny off the floor. And if I didn't, for example, if I was too proud not to work at the barbershop, I wouldn't have met amazing people, I wouldn't have learned this new skill. And a lot of these transferable skills come into my business from barbering, which is so strange. And it's like, you just do what you love, and that turns into great experiences that allow you to feel your life. And honestly, it's like, it's not typical. There's certain things that I've done that go beyond just, for example, a law graduate who also runs his business, who's cutting hair. It's like, it goes beyond that. And I don't even care for any titles. It's just, you can do whatever you want, to be honest, but you have to know that there's certain things that you have to work hard at. For example, if you want a lifestyle that is free, you have to work hard at getting the skills and making the money that you need to. And you have to understand that it's not easy. And you have to understand that there's going to be ups and downs. You might lose money, you might make a lot of money, but knowing how to keep it is one thing, and knowing how to distribute it into your different channels of life is another thing. Even the way you spend your time, like for example, most people might comment like, oh, why are you in your office, why are you in your studio at 12 in the morning talking to a camera, by yourself? It's like, because I have something on my mind that I want to express, and I can, to be honest. Like, I can just do it if I want to, so why not? Whether it gets hate or love, it doesn't really matter to me. I really wanted to document from scratch. Like there's a lot of things I want to hit in this next couple, months. Body transformation, my business, and I want to teach a lot too. Like, I'd rather teach a lot of these things and put it out here, because I know a lot of people charge for this information, and it's like, there's a lot of people that could use it first. And I'd rather somebody make money so I can consult with them at the level of my other businesses for now. It's like, use what I give you to make money so we can speak at a higher level, because I'd rather not deal with you at the moment while you're still figuring yourself out and learning about yourself. It's like, it's not fair, because you have a lot of potential ahead of you, and let's work there and let's scale from there so we can see eye to eye, right? So that we can use the systems I'm using, we can, talk about certain projects and all these different things. And it's like, there are so many levels ahead of me. I'm just excited to keep playing the game and coming from scratch. And I say from scratch because there's a lot of things I let go of just so I could feel the climb, if that makes sense. It's like, you want to take care of your family again, maybe you want to spend more time with your family, you have to let go of things. Maybe you want to build another business, so you have to let go of things. Maybe, you want to live in a certain place, so you have to let go of things. Lifestyle, fitness, sales, marketing, my hobbies, my collaborations, all these different things, even some of my sponsors. It's like, I would love to share it with you guys, and this is kind of what this channel is about. Even certain things like, I'd love to share my transformation of my body, my mindset, the books I read, the books I've read, the little things that have helped me make money in the past, things you can do right now to make money that you don't need a lot of skill for, that you can go out tomorrow, you can sell to people, and you can complete a service and get better at it and then make money from there. You don't have to follow the whole online trend of making money. There's a lot of money to be made offline as well. And then a lot of lifestyle habits that I do, because I'm very strict, and a lot of people know that. Like, for example, like, I don't drink pop. I started drinking this after just drinking water. I like certain coffees. There's a lot of things I've implemented in my diet, switched out for unhealthy habits into healthy habits. And honestly, if I share that type of stuff, the systems I've made that have helped me balance my business while also, for example, continuing law school, while also traveling and all these different things. And if I share it, I hope it helps you, because like, it's taken me a lot of time to kind of gather all of this stuff. And honestly, before I turn 23, I want to get a lot of this stuff out. That's only in like almost a month, to be honest, but I want to get this runway going so that from scratch you can see how possible it is to do these things. Even if it sounds weird, it's like, documenting myself sitting in the studio right now, speaking to you face to face, is so important to me, because it's like, I just want to be myself in front of the camera. And a lot of people try to pretend to be something that they're not. And, it takes getting used to. I'm always the person who's helping other people get in front of the camera and talk to the camera. So I'm like, if I speak now, I know it's going to lead to something better. And I was overthinking this before, and I was like, maybe I should, film this a certain way, or maybe it's not going to be perfect. But I'm like, whoever wants to understand will get it. The certain things they can take from this video, the story, the journey, even the little snippets I've shared. I hope you take it and understand that when I put stuff on this channel, as I already have in the past, but being a little bit more direct, being a little bit more myself, I hope that you can take something from it. You can be entertained. You can use it in your own life. And you can kind of just experience and live life to the fullest. Enjoy it. Literally enjoy it. Do whatever you want, whenever you want, and make money, take care of the people around you, and keep building, because I love building. I love learning things, and I love experiencing life, and I love, taking care of those around me. With that being said, I guess I'll see you in the next video, and this was Justin from Scratch, and take it easy. Cheers.